And up next, a trainer that might not have as much of a relaxed approach is SJ, because SJ has everything on the line here. This is a two-time regional champion, but he has not yet competed in the 2026 season. He needs to qualify for the World Championships, and to do that, he has two opportunities. He can either auto-qualify here today by becoming the regional champion, or do awesome here today, which he's well on his way to do, and then do awesome at NAIC as well. So a lot of pressure for SJ. And the other side, Mateus is actually his first ever top cut for this trainer. So another underdog story versus a two-time regional champion. The first winner was a Zuku versus Nighttime Clasher. Can Mateus also make that upset?
Yeah, Indianapolis, and as of day 2, maybe a little bit of an upset in the first match. We have a second match where we have a trainer who is a little bit less established, has had pretty consistent performances at the regionals he's attended against S-James, someone who has popped off at every regional he has attended. It's going to be a Quagsire versus Shadow Quagsire.
Well, these teams are looking pretty similar. Even the attacks are at the exact same location for these two Quagsires. One is Shadow, one is not, but they both have Licky Licky in the back, and Mateus is trying to get that energy advantage on the Togekiss, which will help him a lot against that Empoleon in the back. But I do expect the Licky Licky to maybe come in here from SJ. There it is.
The energy advantage for the Togekiss at this point will help it pace to the Aura Sphere. However, because of the Aqua Tail chip, I believe this Togekiss might start to become within range of a Body Slam. However, shield goes up for SJ, so Togekiss can shield in turn.
One of the best Protect shields you have in Championship Series right now is Protect shielding your Licky Licky from an Aura Sphere. So SJ does do that, no, the Togekiss does hang on, but he actually gets an extra rollout from it, so it's better for SJ.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see the no shield there, because I think either you threaten another shield from SJ or a potential hard-hitting Aura Sphere. However, Mateus opting to preserve shields for later parts of the game, recognizing Quagsire is a decent matchup into the Licky Licky as well, because you resist the rollout damage.
Well, I think he's recognizing that Quagsire is really safe into all of SJ's team. If he can preserve this Pokemon and invest in it with Protect Shield, he has an opportunity. But it's not the Shadow. It's not doing a crazy amount of damage. The swap into the Shadow Ball, that's going to be double resisted. What a call from Mateus.
Yeah, SJ opting to throw immediately there in order to try to throw off his opponent. Unfortunately, Mateus goes immediately for the catch onto his own Licky Licky, which is the best play that he can make there, because that takes neutral damage into double resistant.
Mateus not looking like the underdog in this matchup, making all the right plays, and now you have two Protect Shields to the one Protect Shield of SJ. This is probably going to be your most efficient Protect Shield of the rest of the battle. Does he go for it? No! He actually just lets it go. He's going to full invest into the Quagsire.
And I would have maybe preferred to see a rollout thrown here, because the chip damage would be a little bit nice. However, Body Slam,
But he gets back to his timer to try to go and farm down, which is big for Mateus as well.
Yeah, this energy on Quagsire will be very useful, because he has a significant health deficit because he's saved his shields. In comes SJ's own Quagsire, and double Aqua Tail is not quite reached, but Mateus can easily shield here.
I don't know if an Aqua Tail is enough to knock out SJ's Quagsire. It is the Shadow Quagsire, but it's being thrown by a non-Shadow. You might have to go for the Mud Bomb, and there is that Mud Bomb. I believe Mateus is at the double Mud Bomb. SJ's maybe trying to call an Aqua Tail. It's the Mud Bomb, and it's not a knockout, but it puts this Quagsire so low that now you maybe have to give up this Protect Shield to hang around.
I think Mateus could have done a singular Mud Shot there to potentially pick up the knockout. Now, SJ has the opportunity to throw the Aqua Tail, but it's caught into the Licky Licky.
Wow, Mateus is just jumping around this battlefield to start off day number 2 in Indy. The undercharge, the swap to get an extra rollout. SJ is a two-time regional champion for a reason. He has to outpace to the Body Slam. He's at the Body Slam. It's charge attack priority. This is Aqua Tail, but it might not be enough, but it's going to be really close.
It's going to come down to a pacing of fast attacks here. How much energy is...
It's not enough! Woo. It's not enough! 1 HP in a dream for SJ to qualify for this year's World Championships, as Licky Licky also isn't enough with the Body Slam, but he should be able to clean up with just 1 Metal Sound, 2 Metal Sounds. He does it!
All right, that caught me a little bit off guard. I was expecting that Aqua Tail to pick up the knockout into the Licky Licky. I thought it was going to be a fast attack down there, but instead, S-James, recognizing the bulk of the Licky Licky, able to land the body slam into the Quagsire. Even though it's not enough to pick up the knockout, there's plenty of health remaining on his final 2 Pokemon in order to secure victory.
Wow, SJ was in such difficult treading that entire battle. To come out on top in that matchup is the reason why he's a 2-time regional champion and the reason why he is trying to qualify for this year's World Championship, because he is one of the best. So he was able to take down Mateus in game number 1, but how about Mateus? His first ever top cut on the winner's side. He is playing awesome.
I think very minor optimizations in a few points, but if you make those optimizations, maybe you don't get all of the catches that Mateus was able to make. And I think that is what kept him in this game, able to take the neutral Shadow Ball from being into his Quagsire into his own Licky Licky, and then being able to sacrifice his own Licky Licky in the end to preserve his Quagsire, I think was all he needed to get to the end point. Unfortunately, the Aqua Tail just not enough damage to knock out SJ's Licky Licky, and that provided SJ the opportunity to clean up in the end.
You speak about the little efficiencies. I think earlier in that battle, there were some Hydra Cannons coming into his Licky Licky. At that point, he has seen all the Pokemon. I think he would know that that Hydra Cannon would be the highest damage attack, so that could have been the Protect Shield used for Mateus, but I mean, credit to him. He almost upset SJ in that game number 1, and I would not count him out to reverse sweep this series, but can SJ stay around here, get a ton of championship points, or auto-qualify as your regional champion? I mean, he is well on his way. He is playing awesome, and he also has that Shadow Sableye, which is a wild card pick for him, but it's top 5 in usage right now, which is crazy to see. It's a Drain Punch Shadow Sableye. We'll see if we see this in game number 2.
And staying on the winner's side is so much more important in day 2 because of the quick path to the winner's finals. Game number 2, it's a similar mirror of Quagsire versus Quagsire. Instead of farming energy, Mateus opts to immediately pivot into his Togekiss.
And SJ throws the Aqua Tail, which does a good chunk in the Togekiss, almost half the health, swapping into Empoleon this time. Last battle, he did this same swap, but it was with Licky Licky. You pace a little slower, so you might even have to double Protect Shield. Will SJ go for a full farm down and just double shield this Aura Sphere here?
And this is an interesting team composition for Mateus. He's opting to pull out the Empoleon. I think he was trying to pull out the Licky Licky because the Pokemon he has in the back, that Shadow Dusknoir, is hard answered by that Licky Licky. Mateus might be feeling a little bit anxious because he didn't pull out that Pokemon, that normal type, but it's not even on SJ's team of 3 here.
It's not. In advanced strategies from Mateus here to try to do that. In good news for him, it's not out there, and he has a Protect Shield advantage. 2 Shield Shadow Dusknoir in the back is a force. Remember, it does so much fast attack pressure as well, and now there's no shields left for SJ. And here comes the swap into the Togekiss, and it's counter swap by the Dusknoir, and this is great because you have to get all the way to the Gleam if you're SJ.
And you're able to get a lot of energy onto your Dusknoir here, and you have such potent charge attacks here.
He's thinking of calling it. Oh, last second shield.
Also, throwing Aura Sphere into a Ghost type, I guess it's okay because of how frail Dusknoir is. Mateus now recognizing the counts. This cannot be a Dazzling Gleam. This has to be Aura Sphere. Double resisted, but still going to do probably half of the remaining health.
Mateus is locked in, but he can't get too low, because if he gets too low, he might waste all this energy that he's banked up. Here comes the punch here that's going to knock out the Togekiss. He can get to at least another punch, but can he get to 2 more punches for that backline? That would be huge for him, but he's going to be in range of maybe getting knocked out. So instead, he doesn't Shadow Punch. He dynamic punches this Quagsire, which will do more damage.
And I think this makes sense from SJ's side, bringing in the Quagsire because it takes neutral damage from that that dynamic punch. But now Mateus able to preserve the Quagsire, build up extra energy, has his shield remaining, and does not throw the wrong move into Empoleon very critically.
And he can't let this Quagsire get to the double before he gets to the single. And Mateus is able to tie up this series 1-1 with SJ. Mateus keeping up his awesome performance. Wow.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried in the mid game because Mateus was allowing his Shadow Dusknoir to get a little bit low on health because of the Pex coming in from that Togekiss, but able to prioritize the health on his Quagsire as well Dusknoir taking the first knockout, and then Quagsire able to handle the 2 low health Pokemon afterwards. Balancing the responsibility between his final 2 Pokemon, I think, was very nicely played for Mateus.
Mateus, a trainer that has competed 7 times, and he has gotten 4 times 33rd place, which means he's out of top cut range. He still gets championship points, but he's not in this position in this bright spotlight. To see him come here in his 8th tournament and play like this, even that no shield so confidently on the back-to-back Aura Sphere, right? If he's just a little bit off with his counts, he could take a Dazzling Gleam and lose the game. This trainer is incredibly locked in. He's trying to get over that hump, and to do that, to take down SJ, 2 underdogs might win so far here in Indy, which would be insane.
And really importantly, in that endgame, he did not throw Aqua Tail into Empoleon. That was SJ's last win condition in that game. If he's able to neutralize some of the energy and not allow for a farm down afterwards, SJ capitalizes and wins that game. Mateus, very patient play, throws the Mud Bomb after building up extra energy. Let's go into game number 3 between these 2 trainers. It's going to be Quagsire versus Togekiss.
And once again, it is actually literally a mirror battle, just the orientation is a little bit different. Now it's the same, but SJ is behind on energy, but it doesn't matter because he has the harder hitting attack.
However, Mateus switches in, but is able to recapitalize because Psyshock is lower energy than Dazzling Gleam, and SJ is never throwing Aura Sphere into a mirror Togekiss, so even though Mateus swapped, he was able to get back to even counts.
And SJ was able to register that I want Mateus to just throw that Psyshock energy so I can come in with Licky Licky, finish up this matchup. Did have to give up Protect Shield, and now going for the Shadow Ball because he knows the Body Slam is not enough to knock out, and it goes through. I think the Shadow Ball will be enough to knock out the Togekiss, and you are down to Protect Shield, but your Licky Licky is really healthy still.
Yeah, and I think that's a really smart move choice from SJ because Body Slam would have not picked up the knockout, and I don't think the rollout afterward would have knocked out as well. So I think Mateus would have reached an additional Aura Sphere, so it was the necessary move to throw. Another Shadow Ball coming into Quagsire, going to do neutral damage, a good amount of chip.
And if you're watching thinking, why is this Licky Licky not just throwing Body Slam? It's the same type attack bonus, normal with normal. Shadow Ball does do a little bit more damage. It's more energy efficient now that it's 50 energy. So going for the Shadow Ball often helps the dimensions in the battle. That's why a lot of these top trainers do it. Here comes the swap into the Quagsire to bank, to soak up all this Aqua Tail energy.
No shield immediately from SJ, not being threatened by the first charge attack. However, Mateus does have back-to-back Aqua Tails. We'll see if he chooses to throw. Yes, he does. He does have a very healthy Licky Licky in the back.
And this next Aqua Tail does go through. It's not from a Shadow Quagsire, so it doesn't threaten as much as it would. The timer is not up for SJ, so he is stuck in this battle. He's trying to bank as much as he can in a swap from Mateus to take that Mud Bomb, but also crucially keeping his Quagsire around and having either a sacrificial swap or a Pokemon that can get to a charge attack in the back. But Mateus has, actually gets a full rollout through. SJ did not expect that.
Yeah, Aqua Tail going to go through. It's not going to do, it does about half of the remaining health. I thought it would be a little bit less. And now Mateus is in a position where he needs to make sure that he's able to launch this energy from his Licky Licky in order to make sure that he stays in the remainder of this game.
Oh, this is so awkward for Mateus because the Licky Licky of SJ is just out of Body Slam range, but now it's in Body Slam range, and SJ is not getting all the attacks that he thought he would be getting from the fast attack. So the Body Slam is going to be coming through, is going to be able to knock out the Licky Licky, and SJ is shaking his head. He might have missed some rollouts there.
Yeah, I think the second rollout came out a little bit late. He could have forced a charge attack die, and now Mateus is able to get a lot of energy off SJ throwing the Aura Sphere. This would pick up a knockout, but Mateus has a shield remaining.
There is a shield remaining. That was charge attack priority, which shouldn't happen because he threw one peck and then threw Aura Sphere. He should get that attack off at turn 2 instead of being charge attack priority on turn 3. But now, do you try to swap here? The Body Slam is available. It's not over for SJ yet. How much energy did Mateus have on his Quagsire? The Body Slam is going to be knocked out. It's going to be Quagsire's Quagsire. Mateus gets out there and is ahead on energy, is able to win this battle, but I think SJ is already talking to the judging staff. We might be looking at a review here.
Yeah, I would have to imagine that this is going to be a match under review because of the fairly frequent one-turn lags that SJ was experiencing, unable to get a one single peck off before a rollout and charge attack thrown by Mateus. We see that he's talking with the judging staff
And I think what he's saying now, he's even saying it wasn't just at the end there. It even happened earlier when he was throwing he threw one mud shot and went through an Aqua Tail or a Mud Bomb, I forget which one it was, on his Quagsire, and a full rollout went through. So it actually was happening for him even in the mid-game. Before that in-game where we saw he threw a peck and then he threw Aura Sphere, that happened on charge attack priority. So some things went wrong for SJ in that game, and they're going to take a look at it.
Yeah, so now what the judges are doing are they're going to review the footage, determine whether or not those issues did occur, and then afterwards they're going to discuss whether or not they had an impact on the game. We're going to wait patiently as our judges deliberate this, and when we have a conclusion, we'll let you know.
Yeah, and it's hard because that was a mirror matchup as well. There is one Shadow Quagsire and one normal Quagsire, but otherwise it was Licky Licky, Quagsire, and Togekiss, and these trainers were swapping around back and forth. It could have gone either way. It could have gone to the two-time regional champion or Mateus, who is actually, he's playing out of his mind. I'm so impressed with the play level of Mateus in coming into his 8th tournament, just getting over the hump. Sometimes trainers are more talented than maybe they even believe they are. And here is actually the thing we were talking about. So I'm not sure. I didn't see exactly what happened there.
I don't think this was the first instance of the rollout coming through, but I think it might occur afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, so if there is a body slam thrown here.
Yeah. So this is the first one where he could have forced I think this is actually the second occurrence where he could have forced a charge attack tie. But as casters and even the players themselves, they might not know who wins that charge attack tie, right?
It hasn't. I don't think it's been revealed yet.
Yeah, that's definitely a little bit of an unknown. But in
or
other
actually,
instances,
it might have been revealed.
Yeah,
Licky Licky versus Licky Licky might have been revealed.
Yeah.
Who knows?
But in other instances with different Pokemon, we know that generally certain Pokemon such as Togekiss will win charge attack tie against really bulky Pokemon like Licky Licky. So in those instances, you can basically guarantee one Pokemon over another based on their attack stat will win that charge attack tie interaction. However, in a mirror match where you have Licky Licky versus Licky Licky, you don't necessarily know. It depends on the specific stats that those individual Pokemon have.
Right. It's how much you invest into your attack, and if you have higher attack, you win you win the charge attack priority. So it probably did get revealed earlier on who won that charge attack priority. SJ was maybe looking like he might have won it, but we don't know in that situation. But we do know that he should have had the opportunity to press the body slam to see who would win the charge attack priority. I believe a similar thing happened maybe on a Quagsire infraction and also a Togekiss. So all three Pokemon for SJ in that game were having a little bit of difficulty.
Yeah, so here's where the secondary rollout goes through. He throws the Aqua Tail after one mud shot. Only one rollout should go through in that instance. And again, the judges are going to be reviewing these things, seeing that they did happen or they didn't happen. But then there's that secondary step. You need to ensure that it did affect the outcome as well. And one thing, we were talking about it a lot, right? The charge attack tie interaction between two Licky Lickies. That's something that you can discover in a matchup. And I know that that's what high-level players are paying attention to all the time. Let's say, oh, I won that charge attack tie. They'll take a note down. They'll make sure to play optimally around that information later on. If you know that you win the charge attack tie, you can always build up to when your opponent gets that charge attack and then throw. It does provide some potential areas for that opponent to take advantage of that, where they can know when you're going to throw and maybe catch at that spot. But it's additional information you can get.
It gives you the leverage. We saw it with Izuku, right? Knowing that you have a Pokemon that wins charge attack priority in the back. If you know your Licky Licky wins charge attack priority, there's so many times where trainers bank up energy on Licky Licky, swap it out, and save it for the end game. If you know you have that leverage in your back pocket, it's very useful for these trainers to that point.
Yeah, and it's something that if you at home are trying your best to hone your skills, something that you can do. Bring a notebook to these matches at the desks, up on stage, or up on the floor. Take notes. Try to pay attention to the different interactions that you're seeing between your Pokemon. I know that's something that the video game does. They'll monitor speed interactions, but...
Well, Phoebe, I don't have official confirmation, but as a body language doctor, I can see they're about to get into another battle. So it looks like it is going to be a rematch. Oh, no, there it is. There is going to be an official rematch. And remember, it's tied 1-1 here. SJ his entire season on the line for this trainer. Of course, we're still on the winner's side. We do play a double elimination format. He won't be eliminated, but he needs to either win this tournament or do well. And for Mateus, a trainer that's never made top cut, to be able to take down a big name in this tournament, a lot on the line for this trainer as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what sort of pivots these trainers make, because that final game was a perfect mirror between these two trainers. Mateus and SJ both have fairly similar teams. Their fairy type is, well, actually, I say is different, but Mateus and SJ both have a singular fairy type in Togekiss, but Mateus additionally has Wigglytuff.
All right, we're back. We're locked into this decisive game number 3 to advance on the winner's side. We have our leads. It is once again a mirror match between the Quagsire, but there is a different Pokemon in the back for SJ. Instead of the Togekiss, he has his wild card pick. He has that Shadow Sableye that's going to try to clean up in the back line.
And we can see both of these trainers recognizing how safe Quagsire is into the opposing team. We're going to see, I actually don't know if we have seen yet which of these Quagsires win Charge Attack tie. Typically, it's the Shadow variant, because those trainers have had fewer opportunities to get maximized bulk Quagsires. But, however, trainers have the opportunity to build whichever Quagsire they like.
And it looked like one trainer was trying to swap out there right before it. I think it was Mateus trying to swap out before that Aqua Tail. Didn't get there. And now SJ should be able to get the back-to-back Aqua Tails here. Does he go for the back-to-back or does he bank one? I like the back-to-back because that would put the Togekiss either so low. No, actually, he banks the Aqua Tail, swaps into the Sableye, knowing he resists all of this damage. It's going to be a single resist into this Aura Sphere.
Yeah, and recognizing that Mateus has been very likely to bring Licky Licky in the back, wants to provide himself the opportunity to avoid the Togekiss into Licky Licky matchup.
This is risky, though. You're taking a lot of peck damage, and at this point, you banked up all this energy. You don't want to waste it in this matchup. So SJ is going to go for the full farm down here, and he's banked either a double foul play or double drain punch. Mateus has his Quagsire. He'll probably bring the Quagsire in, but at this point, SJ is probably going for foul plays, because if you drain punch, you're not going to get a lot of value out of it. That's why SJ is going for the foul plays.
Yeah, foul play is going to do significantly more damage than drain punch, and because the Sableye is so low on health at this point, don't necessarily think that raising your defenses is that effective.
And the next foul play is going to be coming through. We know Mateus likes to save those Protect Shields. Does he keep saving them? No, he does use one of those Protect Shields. Swap into the zone Licky Licky, and you have a huge health advantage, but you are down energy. And remember, Mateus has the Quagsire in the back that is over half health left.
And I believe it does have some energy as well, so we'll have to see how he utilizes it in the remainder of the game. SJ opting to switch immediately there after throwing his foul play, not going for a catch attempt of a Shadow Ball into his Licky Licky. I like it, though, because he switches immediately after a charge attack. He's going to provide himself the ability to, oh, he threw a Shadow Ball immediately.
And does this give the opportunity for him to swap into the Sableye and try to Shadow Claw down? No, he doesn't have his timer, but he does have a Body Slam. He just throws it. He would have rather back-to-back Body Slam here, but it was a great catch by Mateus, and he has one protection remaining, so it's going to be Licky Licky versus the world for Mateus here. He has some energy, but they're actually at the same exact energy between SJ, and they have the same exact amount of Protect Shields. And was that charge attack priority?
That was a charge attack tie there, and we do get to see that Mateus would have won that interaction in the previous game. However, SJ just has all 3 of his Pokemon left. He has a shield remaining. No shield from Mateus is going to put his Licky Licky very low on health now.
He doesn't have much fast attack pressure, but he's almost at the drain punch, but he throws the foul play instead. Maybe throw the drain punch to increase your defense here, but it doesn't really matter. There's only one shield left. Mateus has to use it, but how is he going to clean up everything? Everything is so low health. He needs to get the rollout down. He gets the rollout down, and now he has back-to-back Body Slam. Mateus is going to do it. No, there's the protection remaining for SJ. Actually, I forgot about the Protect Shield.
I thought he had it as well.
Yeah.
I did not remember that SJ still had a shield remaining. Rollout goes through during that charge attack launch, and that is going to be SJ claiming victory in that game number 3. And really importantly, I think the Sableye swap there in that team composition is what won SJ that game.
Trainers, the 2026 Pokemon World Championships are taking place from August 28 to 30, and you can earn special Pokemon GO rewards through Twitch drops. Watch live on twitch.tv/Pokemon GO to earn timed research featuring the same Ticketon as Beelzebub's 2025 World Championship team, as well as an elite charge TM to take your team up to the next level. Not only that, but you can also earn a bonus team building timed research to create a championship ready Great League team with Lickitung, Totodile, or Paldean Wooper branches. Minimum watch time required to earn rewards. Requirements may vary. Terms apply. Visit rewards.pokemon.com for more information.